Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to take complex info and, well, make it make sense for you. Clear, actionable insights, that's the goal. Today, we're jumping into the pretty intricate world of medical admissions in Gujarat. It's a field, full of opportunity, but wow, also layered with specific rules, cutoffs, money matters. Our mission today is basically to navigate all this and arm you with the essential knowledge you need to understand this really high-stakes process. And just to kick us off, here's something interesting that caught our eye recently. There's news suggesting maybe 7,000 fewer students cleared the NEET exam in Gujarat this year.
Yeah, that's a significant number.
Right. It immediately makes you think, okay, what could that mean for cutoffs? Could things shift this year? It's a big piece of the puzzle. So with that in mind, let's start broad. What does the overall medical education scene in Gujarat actually look like for aspiring doctors and dentists, too? How many seats are we talking about?
Okay, so if we kind of zoom out for 2025, Gujarat actually offers a pretty substantial number of seats. We're looking at 7,250 MBBS seats, that's for doctors, and 11,155 BDS seats for dentists right across the state.
7,250 MBBS. Wow. And where are these?
They're spread out. There are 40 medical colleges in total. 23 of those are government-run and 17 are private. And then for dental, there are 13 colleges, just 2 government and 11 private.
Okay, so a mix. And the seat distribution between government and private?
Yeah, so for MBBS, drilling down, that's 4,208 seats in the government colleges and 2,750 in the private ones. For BDS, it's 250 government seats and 1,005 in private. So quite a difference there for dental.
Got it. That's a lot of seats overall. But what does this actually mean for someone applying? How are these seats handed out, especially with, the reservation system?
Right, the allocation is key. There's a body called ATPGMEC, the Admission Committee for Professional Undergraduate Medical Courses. They handle the counseling for, get this, 85% of the state quota seats in the government medical and dental colleges.
85% state quota in government.
Exactly. And they handle a full 100% of the seats in all the private colleges in Gujarat.
Okay, so they're central to the process within the state. What about the other 15%?
Those remaining 15% fall into the All India quota. That's managed centrally by the Medical Counseling Committee, the MCC.
Right. And within that Gujarat state pool, the 85%, tell us about the reservations.
Okay, so within the Gujarat state pool, there are specific reservations. About 41% is for the general or open category. Then you have 10% for general EWS, that's economically weaker section. SEBC, socially and educationally backward classes, get 27%. SC scheduled caste gets 7%, and ST scheduled tribe gets 15%.
That adds up to quite a reserve.
It does, nearly 60%.
Yeah.
And importantly, cutting across all these categories, there's a horizontal reservation of 5% for persons with disabilities, PWD. So that ensures accessibility.
That's a really structured system. Now, all of this hinges on one main exam, right? What's the gateway, and does Gujarat have any specific approach to it?
Absolutely. The main gateway, really the only gateway for medical admission in Gujarat, like most of India, is NEET, the National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test.
Okay, NEET. Standard stuff.
Pretty much. It's a national level exam done offline, pen and paper. It's got 180 multiple choice questions. The marking is +4 for a right answer, -1 for a wrong one. Straightforward.
Any local flavor.
Yes. And this is important for students in Gujarat. The question paper is actually offered in Gujarati, alongside English, Hindi, and other regional languages, but having it in Gujarati is a big plus for local students.
Makes sense. Now, here's where it gets really critical for planning. Is Gujarat an open state for MBBS? Meaning, can someone from, say, Kerala or Delhi apply for those state quota or private seats?
That's a crucial question. And the answer is mostly no. Gujarat is primarily a closed state for MBBS and BDS admissions.
Closed state. Okay, what does that mean practically?
It means for the vast majority of seats, both government quota GQ and management quota MQ, you need a strong connection to Gujarat. There are strict eligibility rules.
Like what?
Generally, you need to have passed both your Class 10th and your Class 12th science stream with biology, obviously from a school physically located in Gujarat.
Okay, schooling within the state.
Yes. And the school needs to be under a recognized board, Gujarat Board, CBSE, ICSE, Cambridge, even NEOS, but located in Gujarat.
And is that it? Just the schooling?
No, that's not all. You also need to meet a residency requirement. Either you need to be a domicile of Gujarat, which usually means living there for about 10 years.
10 years, okay.
Or you need to have actually been born in Gujarat. So schooling plus domicile or birth in Gujarat.
Wow, that is strict. A closed state, indeed. Are there, like, any loopholes, any exceptions at all?
There are a few very specific exceptions, yes. It's not completely sealed. For instance, if your parent is an IAS, IPS, or Indian Forest Service officer allocated to the Gujarat cadre but serving outside on deputation, their child is eligible.
Okay, government service postings.
Exactly. Same for kids of Gujarat government employees posted outside the state, or children of defense personnel who are domiciled in Gujarat but serving elsewhere. There's also a slightly unusual one for students who studied in Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalayas, those central government schools, in Gujarat up to Class 8, even if they finished 10th and 12th outside the state later.
Interesting edge cases. But what about people with absolutely no Gujarat connection anyway in?
Yes, there is one significant pathway, and this is where it gets interesting for non-domiciled candidates, the NRI quota.
Ah, the NRI seats. How does that work? Is it truly open?
It really is. The NRI quota is open to candidates from anywhere in India, or indeed anywhere in the world. The main requirement is that either the candidate themselves or one of their parents must legally be a non-resident Indian.
Parent or the student.
Or, if parents aren't there, a legal guardian who is an NRI can also qualify. But, and this is important, the sponsor must be the candidate, parent, or legal guardian, not an uncle, aunt, brother, sister. That's strict.
Got it. So no extended family sponsorships.
Correct. And what's surprising is that this NRI quota isn't just in private colleges. Even some government or the GMR self-finance institutes in Gujarat offer NRI seats. That's a key way in for non-domiciles.
That's a really valuable point. Any other special quotas?
One more, yeah. A unique local quota. This applies only to two specific institutions, SMT NHL Municipal Medical College in Ahmedabad and SMIMER, the Surat Municipal Institute of Medical Education and Research in Surat.
Local quota, meaning?
Meaning you have to be a resident of that specific city, Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation area, or Surat Municipal Corporation area, for at least 3 years. And you must have done your 10th, 11th, and 12th from schools within those city limits.
Super specific.
Very. And applications for these local quotas are often handled offline, needing approval from the college dean.
Okay, so assuming you figure out you're eligible under one of these routes, domicile, NRI, local, whatever, what's the actual process? Step by step, how do you apply for admission in Gujarat?
Right. The process itself, managed by AC Pitch Meg, is quite structured for 2025. It kicks off with buying a PIN online. It's a 14-digit number you need for registration.
Buying a PIN, how much does that cost?
It's usually around 1,000 rupees for the PIN itself, which is non-refundable. Plus, there's a refundable security deposit, typically 10,000 rupees. So you're looking at about 11,000 rupees up front just to start the process.
Okay, 11K to get in the game. Then what?
After getting the PIN, you go online and register, create a user ID, password, the usual setup. Then comes the detailed part, filling in all your personal information and uploading scanned copies of your documents, your 10th and 12th mark sheets, your NEET scorecard, proof of birth, domicile certificate if needed, caste certificate, disability certificate, all that.
And for NRI candidates, I imagine that's more complex.
Definitely. For NRIs, it's quite detailed. They usually need things like notarized color copies of passports, visas, or OCI cards, proof of overseas address, and often a formal undertaking about paying the fees, usually on stamp paper. Lots of paperwork.
Sounds like it. So you upload everything online, is that it?
Not quite. After the online submission, there's a crucial physical step, document verification. You have to schedule an appointment and actually go to a designated help center.
In person.
Yes. You bring your printed registration slip, self-attested photocopies of all the documents you uploaded, and importantly, the original documents too, for them to verify against the copies.
And where do you do this? Any specific places?
There are designated help centers across the state. However, for NRI candidates and some other special categories, like the children of defense personnel, the verification happens exclusively at one place, GMR's Medical College in Gandhinagar.
Good to know. So documents verified. What's next?
Once verification is done, ACPGMEC prepares and publishes the official state merit list. Based on previous years, for 2025, we'd expect this around the 4th week of July. This list ranks everyone based on their NEET score and eligibility.
The merit list comes out, then the real choices begin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Eligible candidates whose names are on the list then participate in online choice filling and locking. This is where you list your preferred colleges and courses in order of priority.
You rank your preferences.
Right. And then, based on your choices, you rank in the merit list, and obviously how many seats are available in each category in college, the system allocates seats.
Okay, seat allotment happens. What then?
After you get an allotment, you download your allotment letter and a fee challenge, like a payment slip. Then you need to pay the tuition fees. This can usually be done online or by visiting a designated branch of HDFC Bank.
Pay the fees, and then you're in.
Almost. The final step to absolutely confirm your admission is to report to the allotted college, usually with a specific verification code from your allotment letter. Then you need to go back to an appointed help center, submit all your original documents, they keep them for the duration of the course, along with the proof of fee payment.
Submit the originals.
Yes, and only then do you receive your formal admission order. That piece of paper confirms you're officially enrolled.
Wow, that's quite a multi-stage process. Lots of steps to follow carefully. You mentioned dates. What are the key timings students need to remember for NEET 2025 and the Gujarat Counselling?
Sure, so for NEET 2025, the exam itself was held back on May 4th. The results came out on June 14th.
Okay, exam and results done. What about the Gujarat-specific process?
For the Gujarat MBBS admission cycle, the online registration typically opens around July 5th and closes maybe around July 18th. The document verification window usually extends a few days beyond that, maybe until July 21st. These are based on typical timelines. The exact dates for 2025 would be confirmed by AC Pujmek.
Right, so registration and verification mostly in July. What about choice filling and actual admissions?
The specific dates for choice filling, locking, and the results for each round of counseling there are usually about 4 rounds, including a mop-up round. Those get announced as the process unfolds. But the whole counseling period generally stretches from August, potentially continuing into October or even November, depending on seat vacancies.
So it's a process that spans several months after the NEET results.
Definitely. Patience is needed.
Absolutely. Now let's talk competition. You mentioned the news about possibly 7,000 fewer students qualifying from Gujarat this year. How might that impact the probable NEET scores needed for admission in 2025?
Yeah, that news about fewer qualifiers is significant. It logically suggests that the cutoffs might ease up a bit compared to maybe last year where they were potentially higher.
So what kind of scores are we potentially looking at for, say, a government MBBS seat?
Okay, for the general category, or unreserved, UR, under the state quota in government colleges, the expected NEET 2025 cutoff might land somewhere in the range of 570 to 585 marks.
570 to 585. And what does that mean in terms of rank?
That score range typically translates to an all-India rank, somewhere between, say, 7,000 and 9,000. And within Gujarat, a state rank perhaps between 8,000 and 12,000. Ranks can fluctuate year to year, of course.
Now for the reserved categories, OBC, EWS, SC, ST.
For those categories, the cutoffs are usually lower. You might expect them to be roughly 10% to 25% lower than the general category cutoff, depending on the specific category and competition within it.
Okay. And just as a baseline, what are the absolute minimum qualifying scores for NEET itself?
Right. Just to qualify NEET, you need to hit a certain percentile. For the general or EWS category, it's the 50th percentile. In 2025, that translated to around 144 marks. For OBC, SC, and ST, it's the 40th percentile, which was about 113 marks. Just qualifying doesn't guarantee a seat, especially not a government one, but you need to clear this first hurdle.
Understood. Qualifying versus getting a competitive score for admission are two different things. Now let's shift to the cost. It's always a big topic. Medical education can be notoriously expensive. What's the damage for studying MBBS in Gujarat?
You're right, the cost varies enormously. It really depends on the type of college.
Let's start with government colleges. What's the picture there?
Okay, for the purely government medical colleges, the tuition fees are, frankly, remarkably low. We're talking about approximately 25,000 rupees per year for the 2025-26 session. That's just over $300 a year. Very affordable.
25,000 rupees a year. That's incredibly low for MBBS. What about the other types? GMers.
Right. Then you have the GMers colleges, Gujarat Medical Education and Research Society. These are technically self-financed, even though they have government involvement. Here, the fees jump up significantly. For a government quota seat in GMers, it's around 3.75 lakhs per year. For a management quota seat, it's about 12 lakhs per year. And for the NRI quota in GMers, it's roughly $25,000 per year.
Okay, big difference between pure government and GMers. What about the municipal colleges you mentioned?
Yes, the municipal ones like NHL and Ahmedabad, they're also self-financed and can be even more expensive. NHL, for example, charges around 7.41 lakhs per year for its government quota seats.
7.5 lakhs for GQ.
Yeah, and their management quota is close to 23 lakhs per year, and the NRI quota is around 33,750 USD per year, so quite steep.
And finally, the private medical colleges. What's the range there?
Private colleges in Gujarat have a really wide spectrum. For their government quota seats, yes, private colleges have GQ seats too. The cost is generally between, say, 8 lakhs and 10 lakhs per year. Their management quota fees are where it really climbs, ranging from about 16 lakhs to nearly 23 lakhs per year. And the NRI quota in private colleges, that can go from around 21,000 USD up to a staggering 47.7 lakhs per year in some cases.
47 lakhs. Wow.
Oh.
So the range is just immense, from 25,000 rupees to almost 50 lakhs a year, depending on the college type and quarter.
Exactly. It highlights why the competition for those low-fee government seats is so intense. The financial implications are huge.
No kidding. Now, Gujarat offers more than just MBBS, right? What's the scene for other courses like dental, BDS, or the AUS SAGE streams, Ayurveda, BAMS, homeopathy, BHMS, Unani, BUMS?
Absolutely. Gujarat has a strong presence in these areas too. For BDS, Bachelor of Dental Surgery, as mentioned, there are 1,255 seats, total 250 in the 2 government dental colleges and 1,005 in the 11 private ones.
Okay, plenty of dental seats, mostly private. What about AUSH? BAMS, BHMS?
Yes, the state offers programs like BAMS, Ayurvedic, BHMS, Homeopathic, GUMS Hunani, and also BNYS, Naturopathy and Yogic Sciences. These are quite popular as well.
And the fee structure follows a similar pattern. Big difference between government and private.
Very much so. Take BAMS, for example. In a government Ayurvedic college, the fees can be incredibly low, maybe around 4,000 rupees per year.
4,000.
Yeah. But in a private BAMS college, you're looking at fees ranging from maybe 2.25 lakhs to 3.15 lakhs per year. A huge jump.
Definitely. And just out of curiosity, what's the scoop for practice for, say, a BAMS graduate?
It's a good question. BAMS graduates are trained in traditional Ayurvedic medicine and certain procedures, like draining abscesses or minor surgical excisions. But they are generally not permitted to perform major surgeries like an MBBS graduate would. The scope is different.
Right. Important distinction. Okay, so we've covered getting in, the costs, the different courses. Let's think about life after admission. What are some key things students in Gujarat might encounter? Any unique aspects or challenges?
One really significant factor, especially for students in the pure government medical colleges, is the bond policy.
The bond. We hear about this in many states. What's Gujarat's policy?
In Gujarat, after graduating from a government MBBS seat, you're generally required to serve for 1 year in a designated rural area of the state.
Okay, 1 year of rural service. Is there a way out?
Yes, there is an option to be exempted from this compulsory service, but it comes at a significant cost. You have to pay a bond amount which totals 20 lakh rupees.
20 lakhs, that's substantial. How is that structured?
It's typically split. There's a formal bond agreement you sign for 15 lakhs, and you also need to provide a bank guarantee for the remaining 5 lakhs. So it's a serious financial commitment. Either way, serve for a year or pay 20 lakhs.
That's a major consideration for anyone taking a government seat. What about other aspects of student life for training? Any recent issues?
Well, something that has surfaced recently, based on advisories from the Gujarat Medical Council, relates to internships. There have been concerns raised about some institutions allegedly charging illegal fees for internships, or, conversely, not paying the mandated stipends to interns.
Issues around internship finances.
Exactly. It just highlights that students need to be really aware of their rights and the official rules regarding fees and stipends throughout their entire course, not just the initial admission fees.
Good point. Okay, let's zoom out again. Thinking about Gujarat in the national context. Why might students from other states target Gujarat for medical admission?
The main draw, as we discussed, is really the NRI quota. Because Gujarat is mostly closed for GQ and MQ seats, the NRI pathway is the primary reason someone without domicile would look at Gujarat.
And the fact that NRI seats exist even in some government-affiliated GMERS colleges?
Precisely. That makes it relatively attractive, compared to states where NRI seats might be exclusively in very high-fee private colleges. It provides an accessible route, relatively speaking, for those eligible under the NRI category.
Okay. Now, flip side. Why might students from Gujarat who have the domicile advantage look outside the state for MBBS?
Well, the biggest reason is simply the intense competition within Gujarat for those coveted state quota seats, especially the low-fee government ones.
Not enough seats for everyone who qualifies.
Exactly. If a Gujarat student's NEET score is good, but maybe not quite high enough to get their preferred government or even junior seat within the state quota, they might find better opportunities in other states through the all-India quota, or perhaps in private colleges elsewhere that might have slightly lower cutoffs or different fee structures.
So competition drives them out. Any other historical factors?
Historically, there might have been some perceived differences between the state board syllabus and the NEET syllabus, though that's largely unified now under NCERT. But primarily, it's about rank and seat availability versus the high internal competition. Exploring options outside Gujarat just broadens their chances.
Makes sense. This has been incredibly comprehensive. We've really covered the landscape, the process, the costs, the student experience. What's one final thought or maybe a question you'd leave our listeners with?
I think what stands out from all this is that medical admission isn't just about a national exam score. The Gujarat example really shows how state-specific rules, the closed state policy, the domicile requirements, the unique NRI provisions, the bond system, the varied fees, create a very distinct regional ecosystem. So the question to ponder is, how will these kinds of state-level variations continue to shape not just who gets into medicine, but where they practice, their career trajectories, and ultimately the distribution of doctors across India? It's a complex interplay between national standards and local realities.
That's a great point. It's not just about getting the seat, but the long-term implications of where you get that seat. What a deep dive. We've unpacked the medical scenario in Gujarat, gone through the hoops of NEET counseling there, understood the often daunting financial side, and touched on those unique state dynamics. Hopefully you feel much better equipped now with a clearer picture of pursuing medical education in Gujarat. And that closing thought is definitely something to chew on. As competition stays fierce and rules keep evolving, how will these state-specific systems, like Gujarat's, continue to mold the future medical community both within the state and for India as a whole? Something to think about until our next deep dive. Thanks so much for joining us, and we hope you feel that bit more informed.